Hey guys, Boris here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to do a tier list of some of my characters. These characters are from an object show I did on Scratch called The Ultimate Winner and its sequel, The Ultimate Winner Reloaded, both of which are terrible, overused pop culture references and overused characters. There are a lot of characters. As you see here, we have 80 characters. 80 characters. That's way too many. And I made 68 episodes of this series before I finally decided to have the good wisdom to cancel it. Now, this is not the last you'll be seeing of these characters. You'll be seeing these guys in quite a few future videos here. Mainly my new object show that I'll be making on Adobe Animate. And Turtle Gunner 95, a friend of mine on Scratch, made a tier list of all 80 characters. So a tier list, I'm basically just going to be ranking everyone following these tiers. Best, legendary, epic, amazing, adore, love, like, better, okay, neutral, dislike, hate, terrible, despise, and I'm not sure if you guys can read that one. I don't think you can, but that last one down there says worst. Only one character will be down at worst, and I think if you know me well and you've watched the series, my least favorite character is a running joke in the series. I think all of you are probably going to know who that character is. So I'll be ranking all 80 characters in the order that they are shown here, and I'll talk about them, and since a couple of them, well, 3 to be exact, are related to history, I will be giving a little brief history lesson. So if you've wanted a history video for a while, here you go. Don't worry, I will make a better actual history video soon, but in the meantime, let's get started. Okay, so the first character on this list is Bathtub. Bathtub is a character that I felt didn't do as much as I wanted her to do. I mean, sure, she still had her personality traits, like being a very slow runner and being a friend to Gordy and carrying stuff because bathtubs are technically containers, but overall she really didn't do all that much. However, she is still a very likable character, so I'll put her in love because she is a great character. She is a very good character, don't get me wrong. She just didn't do as much as I want her to do, and I think it'd be really cool if she competed in my new show on YouTube, made on Adobe Animate. So, next up is Magnifying Glass. I don't know why people liked Magnifying Glass so much. She's not my favorite character. She's not terrible. Really, her only personality was just solving mysteries all over the show. She really didn't do all that much. Yet, she lasted way longer than anyone expected just because a couple of people really, really liked her. I'll put her on the okay tier. Third up is Disc. Disc is a character that is loved by half of the fans and hated by half of the fans. I'm personally neutral on him. He's had some funny moments. Let me just tell you right now, Disc has used the OK Boomer meme. I do not like the OK Boomer meme at all. OK Boomer is one of the worst memes ever. I'm just going to say that right now. I only had Disc say it because The Ultimate Winner and The Ultimate Winner Reloaded tended to satire a lot of things. And when I saw the OK Boomer meme, I thought, wait, I hate this meme. I should satire it. And who better than Disc? Because that's part of his personality. He's a jerk. He's a jerk. Overall, though, I would put him on neutral. I don't quite hate him, but I don't really like him that much. Signally. Signally, well, he doesn't really look like a dipole antenna or a signal or whatever the heck he's supposed to be. He just looks like a pine cone. That's because I believe that he is one of the tallest characters in the series. He does have a head. It's just not showing. He also has legs. Overall, his personality started out as a siren kind of character. And then Buzzer put a microchip into him that allowed him to speak later on in the first season. And since then, he's kind of been a voice of reason character, I don't know. Signally's another character that really hasn't done as much as I've wanted him to do, yet he is a very hated character for absolutely no reason. I don't get why he's so hated. He's a very good character. I personally really like him. So I'm going to put him in amazing, because Signally is a very good character. Bamboo. Bamboo is the first recommended character on the list. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that Disc was recommended by Object Penguin 22. I will name recommenders because I need to give them due credit. Not all of these characters are mine. Bamboo was created by Penguin 3806. And Bamboo is a very good character. He's another one that I felt underdeveloped and underdid a little bit. But he is still a very likable character, and I would consider him pretty amazing. Yeah, he's amazing. Blue Screen of Death. Okay, first of all, this one is created by JL718120. And let me just tell you one thing about Blue Screen of Death. He is so annoying. I don't like him at all. I don't hate him as much as some other characters, but he is really, really annoying. With his virus thing, he's caused his team to lose twice just because he was hunting for viruses. And the odd thing is, guess how he got eliminated? The viewers didn't vote him out, although he did come pretty close that one time. It was a challenge. He didn't climb the canyon in time. So I would put him in dislike. He's not the absolute worst character, but he's definitely not my favorite character. Diamond. Diamond is created by KX King 2, who is a viewer of the show. And let me just say that out of the debuters since Diamond, he debuted in episode 16, so Blue Screen of Death debuted in episode 17, and Disc was there from the beginning. I just had a recommended character contest at the beginning of the Ultimate Winter Reloaded. Diamond seems to be the fan favorite debuter, and I don't get it. I mean, he's a likable character. He just really hasn't done anything too special for me. He really isn't the absolute best character in the show. He's good, but he's not amazing. I guess I'll put him in better because he is a good character. He definitely has his strengths. But Diamond also has his weaknesses. Like, he seems to have anger management issues a bit. And he's really kind of overrated, but he's still a good character, and I get why some people would like him, so I'll put him in better. Piston. Piston is a good character. He's another one that kind of underdeveloped. He was actually the first recommended character in the series. He was created by the non-legend, also known as Sam Lenny, or Slam Penny, based on however you call him. So basically, Piston is a very good character. He's a good character that really didn't do as much, and this guy has massive untapped potential. He is a great character. So I'm going to put him in a door, because this guy, he's smart, he knows how to do it, he knows how to play the game, he showed his smarts a bit, but overall, he really hasn't done as much as I liked him to, and that's my own fault. 80 characters. That's way too much. Alright, moving on. The next character we have is the Yeeter Council. They are a group of 9 TNT Yeeters. Pretty much they're based on the TNT Yeeters that people build in Minecraft. I think PewDiePie started the trend. I'm not exactly sure. These guys were recommended by Yellow Sheep 43. And just like Blue Screen of Death, they debuted in episode 17 of The Ultimate Winter Reloaded. However, unlike Blue Screen of Death, the Yeeter Council is actually likable. They are a voice of reason character. They're definitely a voice of reason character. They're one of the wisest characters, or in this case, group of characters in the show. It's kind of weird because they're 9 different characters, but they're just one contestant. They're not 9. And that's how they are recommended. And they're also the only character to have a different gender than the rest of the cast. All 9 Yeeters are Ye-males, which means their gender is yes. I don't exactly know how the yes gender works, but I'll just go with it. Anyway, the Eaters seem to be one of the most hated, if not the most hated character in The Ultimate Winner Reloaded. Why? Because they're not objects, and they look more like Minecraft skeleton heads on two grindstones holding Minecraft blocks, more than an actual contestant. So, I actually like them. They're really underrated. They're very underrated. They're good characters, they're voices of reason, and that's why I'm going to put them in a door, just like Piston. They'll be right next to Piston. And the funny thing is, it looks like Piston's pushing them. So that's funny. Rainbow Sardman. Yes, this is the first of the 4 Sardman characters. This is the only one exclusively created by me. However, it is inspired by the other 3 who were originally created by Peaky Star. The original concept was originally created by Peaky Star. And Rainbow Sardman, in my opinion, is the most developed of the Sardmen. She has the most personality. She's done the most. She has kind of a leadership personality in a way. I mean, sure, she still does the ear-piercing, world-ending burp that the other 3 do, but she does seem to be more liked than the other Sardmen, because, obviously, at the time of the show's cancellation or discontinuation on screen, she was the only one of the 4 Sardmen still competing at that point. But overall, she is a good character, so I'll put her in love, because she is the best of the Sardmen. Ruler. I like Ruler's personality. She is a math. She's very smart at math. And basically what she did was just, she's kind of obsessed with math, and she helped me out with math a bit. I mean, not to brag, but I am kind of good at math. I've been told that I'm good at math. So I kind of channeled that into Ruler's personality. However, Ruler made a bit of a false move by shipping 2 of her friends together, Buzzer and Pluggy, and that got her eliminated. However, I still think that she's a good character with a lot of potential. But she is not the absolute best, and she's not my favorite, so I will put her on like, because she is a good character. She's just not my favorite. Christmas Light. She was one of the 2 debuters in episode 32 of The Ultimate Winner Reloaded. She was created by Person Commander, the Commander Loser, that one Commander, the Mudkip Commander. Guy has a lot of names, but anyway, Christmas Light is a very happy, joyful character. She tends to be kind of smart about holidays and knows quite a lot about holidays, but overall, she's a very joyful character. So I will put her in a door, because she does lack a little bit of personality, and it would be good for her to get some development. Next up is Charm Bracelet. Just like Christmas Light, Charm Bracelet also debuted in episode 32, and he was created by Gemini526. Well, actually, I was wrong there. The voting was in episode 32. They actually debuted in episode 33. But anyway, on to Charm Bracelet's actual personality. The guy has a lot of personality. He has a lot of untapped potential, just like Piston, but I think he actually has more potential than just about anyone. Each of his charms has him change to a different personality, while he's normally just this cynical, bit grumpy, but still nice guy. He's a very, very good character, so I think I will put him on Epic, because he is a very epic character, and definitely underrated, and really, surprisingly, not a fan favorite. But honestly, that's because I really haven't developed him, because 80 characters, once again. Next up is Savage Caveman Sardman, who is created by both Peaky Star and I, and based on Mr. Sardman and Bitmap Mr. Sardman, the other 2 Mr. Sardman created by Peaky Star. Savage Caveman Sardman did not have too much personality, but he seemed to be more liked than the other 2, but not as liked as Rainbow Sardman. So I will put him in like, because he is not an amazing character. His personality mostly consists of doing savage caveman stuff, but he still does some stuff, and he has helped on occasion. So I'll put him on like. Green Tea. I love Green Tea. She is a very, very sweet character. She's a very sweet, loving, kind character. I don't think she has any enemies as far as I'm concerned. She's severely underrated. I don't know why she's so hated. Maybe because she's bland? She hasn't done much? But, again, that's my fault. I really haven't developed these characters enough. 80 characters is too many. I will never do a show with 80 characters again. Aside from that, Green Tea, I'm going to put her on Epic because... No, I'll put her on Amazing. Because she is amazing. She's not the absolute best character. She's not my number one favorite character. But I still like her, and she is a good character. Napoleon. Ugh. You can guess who he's based on. That's right. Napoleon Bonaparte. You know, the guy who took over France for 20 years. He served as emperor. Well, emperor is kind of a misstatement. He actually served as more of a dictator. But, much like his historical counterpart, Napoleon, the contestant, is kind of a bossy... Yeah, he's bossy, he's self-centered, he's nosy. Well, I wouldn't call him nosy, but still. You get the gist. I mean, if he was nosy, he'd be a creepy stalker. And I don't think we want him to be a creepy stalker, do we? Anyway, Napoleon, the contestant, is just pretty much like his historical counterpart, and really not a good character. He is very annoying. He's much like the guy who's coming up next, Pierluigi, but not quite as bad. I'll put him on terrible, because he really hasn't developed that much. He's only appeared in a few episodes, but he is still a not-so-good character. I don't like him. He's one of my personal least favorite characters in the show. Now here's my personal least favorite character overall. This guy's name, Pierluigi. He's based on the first Duke of Parma, which is a province in Italy. Back in the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, and 1800s, it was a duchy. And Pierluigi, the actual historical figure, was the son of a pope. And he was the first ruler of the duchy. And then it went down to his descendants until eventually it moved on to a branch of the Spanish royal family, which itself was a branch of the French royal family. But before I get into history rants, I hate this character. Pierluigi is awful, he's self-centered, he's Napoleon, but much, much worse. And he's lazy. At least Napoleon kind of tries to help. Pierluigi just... he's awful. He is a terrible character. I don't like him. He's bad. And now that I think about it, I think Napoleon belongs into spies and not terrible. And Pierluigi takes a nice spot in worst, because that is where he belongs, and that is where he'll always stay. Pierogi. Pierogi is a character that's fine. He's kind of supposed to be a rapper or something. Personally, I don't like him that much. He doesn't seem to be that liked around the community, or fan base, whatever you want to call it. But honestly, Pierogi, we all seem to have the same opinion. He's okay, he's not our favorite. I'll put him in neutral, because he is a rapper. Sometimes his raps can be funny, and he can be helpful at times. Other times he can be really lazy. Next up is Marble. Marble is a really bland character. She really hasn't done that much, and again, my fault for obvious reasons. I've said many times, I'm not going to say them again. But Marble seemed nice. She seemed like a nice, compassionate character. She kind of went out too early. A lot of people really liked her. I was kind of sad to see her go, and I'd like to see her compete in a new show. So I'll put her in better with Diamond, because she is still a good character with lots of potential. She just hasn't shown this potential yet. Okay, next up is Clocky. Clocky really hasn't done much except maybe complain about magnetism a couple times and maybe be a bit smart about time. He really hasn't done that much, and he hasn't been all that major in the series. Well, he only competed in Season 2. But he didn't do all that much, and he had a very minor role compared to other characters. He's not bad, but he's not good. So I'll put him in okay with his bland counterpart, Magnifying Glass. I mean, they're both really bland and have personalities based on the object's actual use. Magnifying Glass is based on a mystery solver, like a spy, and Clocky is a general time teller. And that latter personality really can't develop. I mean, he could develop in a smaller show, but still, I don't see much potential in him. Asthma Inhaler. He is a good character, and he's got some untapped potential, such as being able to breathe underwater. Really, most people know him for being nice, I guess, and suffering from a bad case of asthma, which is kind of ironic because he is an asthma inhaler. But he can breathe underwater because asthma inhalers store air. He's not the worst character. I do like him, but he's not the best character, and he definitely needs some more development. I'll put him in like, with Ruler and Savage Caveman. Alright, everyone. Next up is Gordy. Gordy is a very good character. He's also kind of a voice of reason, but he's also kind, he's joyful, he's helpful, and he flies on an invisible hoverboard, which is really cool. He's one of my top 3 favorite characters in the entire series, but since best is reserved for the best character in my opinion, Gordy will go on legendary because he is a very good character, he's very likable, he's very joyful, he's definitely grown on me since the beginning of Season 1. Next up, we have Fake Sun God, created by, you guessed it, Peaky Star. Actually, you didn't, but oh well. Just wanted to say that because it was fun. Fake Sun God is another really hated voice of reason character. He's similar to the Eaters. He's wise, he can get a bit angry at times, but overall, he's a really cool character. He's a really cool character who doesn't deserve this hate at all. He's really, really interesting. So I think I'm going to put him on amazing, because he is amazing. He's a very good character. He's not my absolute favorite, but he definitely doesn't deserve this treatment of hatred that he's getting. Phone. Phone is, well, he's smart. He's kind. He's a good leader to his alliance. I like Phone. He's a nice guy. He knows what he's doing. Ever since he debuted in episode 3 of The Ultimate Winter Reloaded, I felt that he had a lot of potential. He was a very good character. He's done a lot, but not as much as I would have liked him to do because, once again, obvious reasons. I will put him in epic because he is epic and he does quite a lot to help out the show. And I think if the show had gone on, which it will off screen, I think he would have gone pretty far with the viewers because he's well liked. He's well liked. And the majority of his votes are usually because people hate Leaf, and I'll talk more about that later when we get to Leaf. In the meantime, next up is Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz is Pierluigi's girlfriend, and no, she's not based on the real historical Pierluigi's wife in real life. She is not based on Girolamo Orsini, or however you pronounce that name. Can't pronounce Italian names well. Rose Quartz is just a happy-go-lucky character, I guess? In the beginning, she was kind of based on that Valley Girl stereotype, but she's kind of grown out of that and become her own character in a way, which is really good. She's definitely one of the most improved characters in the series. I will put her in Adore. She is a very good character. And next up is a character that's not so good. The character I'm referring to as not so good is Toppy. Top. Yeah, that's his personality. He would probably kill anyone who called him Toppy, and that's really an annoying character trait, and it got to the point where he killed his entire team during the play challenge in episode 11 of season 2. He was only in season 2, but regardless of what season he was in, his personality was still annoying, and he really doesn't have that much potential, so I'll put him in dislike. Next up after Toppy, Top, is Life Preserver. And much like her best friend Rose Quartz, Life Preserver started out as your average Valley Girl stereotype, except she was a bit more reckless than Rose Quartz. That's pretty ironic now, because just like Rose Quartz, she's gotten better. However, she's the more cautious of the two nowadays, which is kind of odd. However, they're still kind of the same character, but they're still good, so I'll put Life Preserver on a door right next to her best friend, Rose Quartz. Sam. Yes, Sam is a human. Accurately, a human in the Scratch library. Yes, Sam is a human in the Scratch library that I just found and decided to put in as a joke character. For some reason, his joke became so popular that he was brought back as a contestant for Season 2. Sam started off as kind of a I don't belong here character. He just didn't feel there. And that's understandable because in a world of mostly objects with the occasional TNT eater, country ball, historical figure, or void, I get how he'd feel out of place. However, then he kind of transitioned to just a super powerful human who often used a bunch of characters with his head on them to do his bidding. Overall, Sam's okay. He's not the best character. I will put him on love because, yes, he is underrated. Yes, he did get eliminated unfairly, but he's not the absolute best character. Now, an even better character than Sam is Leaf. And the thing about Leaf is that she's nice. She's kind. However, a bunch of people thought that she ripped off Leafy from BFB, and she was the first eliminated on her team in Season 2. However, she later came back and rejoined, and her personality improved from there. She had an alliance with Phone and Book of Spells, and honestly, Leaf is a really good character. She just needs to be fleshed out a little more in a smaller show. I'm going to put her in Epic because she has a lot of potential, and I think that she could do a lot more than what she's given in an 80-character show. Speaking of her alliance, the third character up is Book of Spells. And no offense to Book of Spells fans, but I personally think that he is the worst character in the alliance. I do. I just think he's the worst character in the alliance. Don't love him, don't hate him. I mean, I do like him. He's not that bad. I'll put him in like, because he's just the average magician, I guess, with anger management issues. I don't know. He's like Diamond, except smartness is replaced with magic. Next up is Boombox. Boombox was also created by Object Penguin 22. And Boombox actually had a really cool dynamic with Disc at the beginning of the season, where Disc treated Boombox as his servant. However, when Disc got eliminated, Boombox kind of lost that trait and became a bit meaner over the season. And eventually, I think he ate Gordy or something, or killed Gordy in a challenge, and then he got eliminated. But he's still not a good character. I hate him. He's not an amazing character or anything. He is annoying, but overall, he does have potential. He's not the worst character at all. That title goes to Pierluigi. But he could be a little bit better in how he manages his stuff. And then Disc rejoined, and then I started to think he should have stayed in a little bit longer. So that's all I have to say about Boombox. Bowling Ball. He had a leadership personality, but then after Marble, his best friend, got eliminated, he kind of got anger management issues a bit, and lashed out at his team and got eliminated. So I will put him in better because he has potential as a leader. I just felt that he didn't quite live up to the original role that he was given early on in Season 2. Chocolate. Chocolate? Chocolate did nothing. That's all I'm going to say. He was a likable character, but he really didn't do all that much, so I'm going to put him in better as well. Gavel. Man, Gavel was an epic antagonist. At least he was originally supposed to be. Instead, he, liked trying to enforce the death penalty on Book of Spells for, being his rival in a way. I mean, they did have kind of a rivalry, but seriously, Gavel just tried to, put the death penalty on Book of Spells, which isn't cool. I mean, I understand, like, he's supposed to be stereotypical evil judge character, and he was actually meant to be a comic relief. But over time, he just got worse and worse. And that's why I consider him the third worst character in the series. So I'll put him in terrible. And yes, technically the worst object, because Napoleon is basically an objectified Napoleon Bonaparte, and Pierluigi is a picture of Pierluigi, the first Duke of Parma. Wingspan. Wingspan is a pair of wings. She flies, and she's bland. She's okay. She's not amazing, but she really doesn't have all that much potential, and she's kind of bland. Throne. Throne is probably the most improved character in the series. She started off as this royal snob who didn't really care about anyone except for her alliance, but once Season 2 came around, Throne became nicer. She felt remorse for her actions in Season 1, like sabotaging her team's wooden buildings in the Space Colony Challenge. But Throne still... she's not the best character, and I think she could use a little more development. I adore her. She's a great character. She's just not the absolute best character. She's still good, though. Unknown Pentium Token. This guy seems to be a fan favorite around the fan base. Personally, I like him too. He can be annoying, like when he sang a couple of songs. Like, there was this one time when he parodized I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus in one episode, and that ended up getting him eliminated in the Christmas special for Season 2. He got eliminated with Gavel the very next episode, and I don't know, some of the fans loved him, and some of the fans absolutely hated him. I think he's a very iconic character. I think he's definitely a symbol of the series, so I'll put him in love. He can be annoying, but he can also be funny. Mint is pretty much the same character as Unknown Pentium Token, which is pretty much why they're best friends. It's fitting. But Mint is pretty much the same character, except she's a bit more hyper. So I will put her in the same ranking as Unknown Pentium Token, which is love. Now, as for the next two, I'll be ranking them together because they are the last two Sardmen, Mr. Sardman and Bitmap Mr. Sardman. Both of them pretty much have the same personality. They use their ear-piercing, world-ending burps to their advantage to win challenges. They're both very iconic characters. Well, Mr. Sardman is. So I'll put Mr. Sardman on like and Bitmap Mr. Sardman on better. Because Mr. Sardman is a good character. And Bitmap Mr. Sardman is good, but not as good. Now, remember when I said that Gavel was the third worst Ultimate Winner character? That is not true. Gavel is not the third worst character in the Ultimate Winner. He's the fourth worst character. The third worst character is Thumbnail. Thumbnail is a parody of an old friend on Scratch. I think you all know him, Airx. He had more than 110 Scratch accounts. And Thumbnail is just a really, really, really bad parody of him. So, Thumbnail, less is more. Less is definitely more when it comes to Thumbnail. Next up is Honeycomb. Honeycomb is a good character. She's kind. She has some advantages and challenges. She can stick to the ground because she's a honeycomb, and she has honey on her. And honey is sticky. Honey can stick to the ground. Honey can stick to everything. But she is a very good character. She's likable. I will put her on the love tier because she has improved over the course of Season 2. Now, just like the two Sardmen, I'm putting these two together because they are essentially the same character. Pixel and Vector. Both of them were recommended by TUWR, or CM Edwards 2003. Whatever name you want to use for him. You might know him as the creator of Fight for $2 Quadrillion, if you've heard of him. But Pixel and Vector are pretty much the same character. They're both laid back, and Pixel has glitch powers and Vector can stretch out. I will put both of them on okay, because neither one really made an impact on the show, and both of them lasted way longer than I expected, especially Vector. But both of them have been eliminated before the show was canceled. Both were eliminated before the show was canceled. So next up is Crystal Ball. Crystal Ball is that fortune-telling character who's kind of, I don't know, a sad sack at times. She is a good character. I don't like her as much as the others. She has a lot of potential because she often predicts things correctly, but overall, I just don't like her as much as the others. So I'll put her on like, because I do like her, I just don't like her as much as other characters. Also known as everyone above her and some other characters as well on the like tier. Next up is Cupcake. Cupcake seemed like she had a lot of potential before she turned evil in episode 29 of The Ultimate Winner Reloaded and got eliminated the very next episode. For some reason. Because, Hoo-Ha, the guest star in that episode, was apparently triggered a memory from her past that was bad and made her evil. Cupcake is okay. She's not great. She's okay. She's not an amazing character. She's fine. Next up, we have Sock Monkey. Just like Diamond, he was created by KX King 2. Sock Monkey's main personality was shouting, "Dirty Sock!" until he sang Baby Shark in one episode and then he got eliminated. I don't like him that much. I didn't like his Dirty Sock personality, and I didn't like it when he sang Baby Shark, so honestly, he's not that good to me. I know people do like him, I'm just not personally a fan of him. Fruit Salad, he's created by Lay Awesome Projects, or Awesomeness Bean, or whatever name you want to use for him. Fruit Salad is kind of a scatterbrain in a way. I mean, he's not really a team captain, but he's weird. He talks to inanimate objects. He's interesting. He's not amazing. I'd put him on better, because, let's face it, he is bland, he hasn't done much, he's lost some challenges for his team, and he is not really the most liked character around. Okay, next up is Grenade. Grenade was eliminated relatively early in Season 2. And he didn't really do that much, except explode in anger twice. Otherwise, he seems to be a pretty relaxed guy. I mean, aside from when he gets angered, I don't really know him that well, so I'll put him on neutral, because he is neutral. He hasn't been developed enough. Next up is Icicle. Now, the big thing about Icicle is that she's pretty iconic. She was the winner of the Ultimate Winner. Funny. That's right. Because she was the Ultimate Winner, right? Well, that's not that funny. Anyway, Icicle herself is kind of a bland character. Her character development relies heavily on Saturn in some aspects. Actually, many aspects. But Icicle's a good character on her own. I adore her. She is a good character. I adore her. She deserves to be on Adore. And I just personally adore her. Next up is Nail. She got 3rd place in The Ultimate Winner. And Nail, people seem to really like Nail. Nail really hasn't done that much yet. She's kind. She's a tough cookie. She's good at challenges. She's an all-around strong character, but she really hasn't done that much. However, I do love her and not like her because she's very iconic. However, she's kind of at the bottom of the love tier, and she'd be near the top of the like tier if she wasn't so iconic to the series. Next up, we have Soap Bar, who is also a veteran from Season 1. She started out as kind of clumsy, and not in the way the green tea is actually, because she still is clumsy, she falls over. Soap Bar, just when she gets pushed or something, she tends to slide and shout, "Wee!" or something like that. Usually that. Soap Bar, however, has improved. She's become a stronger character, and I will put her on Adore, because she is a good character, and she definitely has a lot of potential left. Now, here we have our 3rd and final podium placer of Season 1, Buzzer. Buzzer was a fan favorite, and still is. Buzzer actually would have been eliminated in The Ultimate Winner Reloaded episode 42 if the series had not been cancelled. He would have been eliminated in the Exile Challenge. But Buzzer, he was smart. He was the big smart guy. He knew a lot of things. But he really got bland after season 1 ended. So I will put him on love because he is iconic, but just like Nail, I would prefer to put him on like, but he's very iconic. Next up, we have Compass. And Compass is pretty much the same with Clocky. So Compass is to directions and finding your way as Clocky is to time. In other words, she is kind of obsessed with saying, "Oh, don't worry, we'll be heading in the right direction soon," or "Don't worry, we need to head north." While she is good at adventure-style challenges, she's still kind of bland, so I'll put her in the same tier as Clocky, which is okay. Cran. One word to describe Cran. Bland, bland, bland. That's 3 words, but they're all the same word. Cran did nothing. She's technically a clone of Mirror, except she does nothing. At least Mirror shows her kindness. Cran just idles around in the background most of the time. Sometimes saying nice things, like, I don't think she's had more than 5 lines. Ever. I'll put her in neutral, because I don't dislike her, and I think she does have a lot of potential. She's just not my personal favorite character. Dryer Sheet. Well, Dryer Sheet, personally, I was kind of dismayed to see her go. Because, honestly, she was kind of a jerk at first, but her reading minds and being mostly relaxed is kind of cool. It's a very interesting personality that she has. And I kind of wish she had gone farther or maybe rejoined in Season 2, because I kind of wasted her potential in Season 1 and didn't realize how decent of a character she actually was until Season 2 came around. So I'm going to put her in... Oh, oops, that didn't work. Let's try this again. Okay, that worked. I'm going to put her in like, because she has a lot of potential, but she just hasn't shown her potential yet. Elbow Macaroni. Just like Bamboo, she was created by Penguin3806. And while I like Elbow Macaroni and Bamboo about the same, I like Elbow Macaroni just a tiny bit better, maybe, because she's kind, she's joyful, she's playful, she motivates her teammates when they're down. I mean, you saw that talk with Notebook if you've watched the series. That's a pretty iconic moment for me. It's a pretty iconic moment for me. So, Elbow Macaroni will go up to amazing, because she is an amazing character and well-deserving of her personality and status as a competitor in the game. I hope she goes very far. Next up, we have Jetpack. And Jetpack was kind of the epic stunt master, but he wasn't arrogant about it. He was just obsessed with doing his stunts. A lot of people thought his elimination was unfair because he accidentally set his team's chocolate statue on fire. But personally, that was a complete accident, and I think he definitely could be a candidate to rejoin. He's not my favorite character, though, so I'll just put him on the like tier. The next contestant that is going to be ranked is Key. She is a smart problem solver who kind of thinks slowly. If her moment in, I think it was episode 33 of The Ultimate Winner Reloaded, gives you an example. If that gives you an example, I think we all know what Key's personality is. She has quite a bit of potential, but she really hasn't done much, and she's kind of bland, so I'm going to put her in the better tier. Next up is Lightcap. Lightcap is a symbol of the Ultimate Winner series, and a lot of people have said that Lightcap is a symbol of the series. And I agree with that. He was actually the first character created specifically for the series. I know that, like, Saturn, an Unpentium Token, Icicle, and Nail were created before he was, but Lightcap is a very iconic character, and he has a very major role in the series. He's definitely a more focused on character, and he's very iconic. So I will put him in the amazing tier, because he is amazing, and he is a good character. He's a very good character. We have Mirror next. Mirror was the second debuter in Season 1 alongside Piston, and Mirror actually wasn't recommended. Mirror is my own character. She's kind of like that classic overly nice character, the one that Cran was cloning, but failed. Mirror kind of executes this stereotype in a way better than Cran did. Much better. As you see, she's still competing. Well, you don't see that. I just said it. So basically, I like Mirror. She's pretty iconic. However, she's not the most developed character, so I'll put her in like. Oh, she should not be an okay. So I will put her in like because she does have potential. However, that potential has not been shown yet. And now, next is my all-time favorite Ultimate Winner character, Nacho. Nacho will go in best tier. Nacho, he is amazing. He has so much potential. He is a great guy. He's good at challenges. He's just an all-around good character. I know that people say that he's bland, but I don't care what people say about Nacho. Nacho is an amazing character that deserves all of the love he gets, and he absolutely deserves his spot on the best tier for me. He's just an amazing character. His friendship with Prismy is amazing, and he makes a good influence on every character he's talked to. I mean, he hasn't talked to Disc yet or anything, but he's a good guy. He knows what he's doing. He's smart. He's good. You know who else is smart? My man Parmaball. He goes in the epic tier because he is epic. Parmaball is an amazing leader and is severely underrated, probably because he's a country ball. Now, who cares that he's a country ball? I don't care that he's a country ball. All I care about is that he's a good leader and he's one of my favorite characters in the entire series. I love Parmaball, and he deserves his spot in the epic tier. He's a great leader, a wise guy, and a very good friend to the Parmes Senfecta, I believe that alliance was called. I don't remember it very well because it only lasted for the last few episodes of The Ultimate Winner Reloaded. So, moving on, we have Pluggy. Pluggy is the last of Buzzer's Alliance. If I haven't made it clear yet, Buzzer's Alliance consists of Buzzer, Piston, Pluggy, Throne, Nail, and I think that's it. I think that's everyone who's in the Alliance. Anyway, Pluggy, just like Nail, she's kind of a fan favorite, but she's kind of bland as well. Just like Nail, I think she does kind of belong on the love tier. A bit. She is good. She just isn't quite there yet. She's still a very good character. So next up is Printer. Printer is severely underrated. Sure, I know he doesn't talk or anything, and he mainly speaks by printing out papers with words on them, and sometimes he prints out coins, but he's a really cool character, and honestly, he's amazing. He's a very good character. He is definitely one of my personal favorites. And the fact that he does what he does without being able to speak and just communicating through papers is really cool. He's really underrated, and honestly, he deserves more love. I am not joking. He actually does deserve more love. Okay, we've got Nacho's best friend here, Prismy. Prismy seems to be more like the Nacho, to be honest, but I like Nacho better than Prismy. Prismy is still good, and I'll put her on the love tier because she's not my personal favorite character, but she is a good character, and she has a lot of potential, and she's good friends with Nacho. Why wouldn't she be up there? Every friend of Nacho goes up on that tier. Nacho's great. He's the best. Next up is Quarter. So Quarter was, he's Phil Swift. I'm not joking. He's actually based on Phil Swift. His personality is based on Phil Swift. Although he's not exactly Phil Swift, he doesn't always saw boats in half. Sometimes he saws other things in half. And sometimes he just interjects in a bunch of things. But Quarter is a very funny and iconic character, and honestly, I think this warrants the Adore ranking for him. He is a good character. And I just realized everyone got moved around after I took a little break. And now, instead of Piston pushing the Eaters, Piston is now pushing Quarter. So, very interesting what we have here. So next up is Rune. Just like Disc, half of the community loves him, and half of the community hates him. So, basically, I like Rune. His magic's cool, I don't consider it cheating. He's a nice guy, he knows what to do, and I play him in Ultimate Overdrive Fire and Ice, which is a camp I'm in, and I love Rune. Rune is an amazing character, and he definitely earns the spot on the love tier for me. Next up, we have Saturn. Saturn is the third character on my podium of favorites alongside Nacho and Gordy. Saturn goes on Legendary because he's a great character, he's an alliance leader, and he should not have gotten eliminated for having limbs and a face last season. Well, I'm referring to Season 1, not Season 2. But anyway, next up we have Sugar Cube, and I think Sugar Cube is really overrated. Honestly, she should have been eliminated in Episode 7 of The Ultimate Winner Reloaded, instead of, I think she got out in Episode 25, despite losing challenges twice. Yeah, she lost a challenge for her team twice in 3 losses, and she didn't even get the most votes the third time. Rune got the most votes, but Sugar Cube lost the final showdown. The final showdown is pretty much the final showdown is pretty much the little final competition to see who's better at the game, to see who gets to stay in the game and not get eliminated. Or the winner of the final showdown goes to exile during the first part of the merge of The Ultimate Winner Reloaded. If you're kind of confused about what they are, they will be explained in further detail later because they'll probably be used in my Adobe Animate YouTube show. So Sugar Cube, I think she's really overrated, but I get how people could feel sorry for her, so I'm going to put her on okay. Because she's okay, she's not great, she's not amazing, but she's not bad. So Sugar Cube will go on okay. Alright, continuing what we've got here, next up is Toolbox. And Toolbox is another character that is overrated. She seemed to be somewhat of a materialistic character at first, but after the safety dance challenge in episode 7 of season 2, I believe, that got her out, she started to become very annoying. So overall, she's neutral. She does have potential. It's just that she doesn't have that much potential. So she's on neutral. Next up is Treadmill, and Treadmill seems to be a fan-favorite character. I personally am not Treadmill's biggest fan. I mean, she's okay, but she's not that great. So I'll put her on better because she is overrated, but she's strong, she's kind, she's likable, and honestly, she's fine. She's perfectly fine, and she really does need some more screen time. Next up, we have Yale Textbook. And I have no idea why I called him Yale Textbook. I probably would have been better off calling him Lawbook, but might actually change his name to Lawbook. But in the meantime, Yale Textbook, he is very, very annoying. His only personality was literally just swooning over Throne and saying, "Oh my goodness, Throne, I love you so much. I have to impress you with everything I do. It's so awesome. I am so awesome." Yeah, he's terrible. No, I hate him. He's not as bad as Thumbnail or Gavel, but he's pretty bad. He's pretty bad. Next up is Hanger. And Hanger, well, let's just say that his personality is, trying to accuse Peaky Star of witchcraft. Yeah, Peaky Star, the creator of the Sardmen, Fake Sun God, and Void. So Hanger, he literally just tried to accuse Peaky Star of witchcraft, but he can be very funny. And Therefore, I'm going to put him in the Adore tier, right next to Quarter, who is ironically his best friend. That's pretty ironic. Next up is Milky. She's bland. She barely did anything. She lost a couple of challenges. She's okay. She's not amazing. She's okay. Notebook. Notebook's big personality is having a good memory. Having a good memory is a very good thing. But Notebook is kind of bland, but she is likable, so I will put her on the like tier. She's not that bad. She isn't that bad, but she's still kind of bland. Okay, we're down to our last 4 characters. Next up is Torch. No, not Flashlight. Torch, for unique reasons. I'm not British. I'm just using Torch for unique reasons. So Torch actually would have been eliminated in the Ultimate Winner Reloaded episode 42 along with Buzzer. She would have lost the final showdown to Buzzer. So she's actually pretty bland, and I'm surprised she got this far, but she's still pretty good. So I'll put her on the better tier. Yeah, better. She's on the better tier. Next up is Void. Void's awesome. He doesn't really do much except be a vacuum to literally everything around him. He sucks up a lot of stuff. But he's a really cool guy. And honestly, he is severely underrated. I will put him in amazing. Just like Fake Sun God, because both of them are amazing characters. Oh, by the way, Void is created by Peaky Star. We have our final recommended character here, Ori, created by Super Oliver 9604 YT. YT stands for YouTube. So Ori was kind of bland before he cheated. Why did he cheat? Because he didn't feel like doing the challenge. They got eliminated. He still has a fair share of fans, but I've always found him overrated, and honestly, he does have some potential, so he's okay. He's not great, he's okay. Finally, the last character we have is Pillowcase, and Pillowcase is just kind of bland. She's kind of, I wouldn't call her lazy or anything, she's just a bit mellow about everything. She's just mellow. She doesn't really do much. She's never been major. She actually did get last place in the Ultimate Winner, Season 1. So, I will put her in better. Because she is fine. So, that's it, everyone. These are all of the tiers that we have here. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to stay safe and wash your hands during this very, very tough time. And please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I will be coming out with some new content soon. I promise that the new show, the stuff with that, you might see some of these guys again. I'm glad you decided to watch the video and get to know some of these guys. I'm also sorry that this video is almost an hour long. It's just 80 characters. Too many. So that's all I have to say. This is Boris signing off. See you next time.